Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson.
And I'm Catherine Maedeman.
And today we're coming to you from the City Hall of Beaufort with quite a crew.
We do. We have firefighters. We're going to talk to some city officials. So who's on our list?
First up, we have our Fire Chief and Deputy Fire Chief, Mr. Reese Berthoff and Mr. Tim Ogden.
And also we're going to speak to is Ross Vizan, who is the Chief of Training. We have Clint Holmes, who is a Senior Firefighter, and Rhonda Carey, who is the Event Tour Operations Coordinator for the city.
So don't miss this very informative episode of 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where the Low Country comes to speak.
.843 TV, where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV, coming to you from the Beaufort City Hall, and today we have a special treat, and we're going to be talking with our Fire Chief and our Deputy Fire Chief of the Beaufort Port Royal Fire Departments, Tim and Reese. Good to see you, men.
You too,
this morning. Well, there's a lot happening this summer, and you all are involved with so much, but just break down for us a little bit about the Beaufort Port Royal Fire Department.
Absolutely. It's one of the things that I like to talk about most in my role as Fire Chief, and that is it's a shining example of intergovernmental cooperation whereby the two municipalities of the City of Beaufort and the Town of Port Royal come together to jointly provide fire service for their citizens. Where oftentimes you'll see municipalities separate their ways and provide services from their central locations. For more than 20 years, these two municipalities have done it together, and I've been talking about it over the last couple of years. We've done some things with agreements and arrangements for new facilities that will probably forge this relationship well into the future. We're talking 15 or 20 years of stability in the relationship between the municipalities to provide fire service for the citizens of the City of Beaufort and Town of Port Royal, and it's really, really an amazing thing to be a part of and something that we're very proud of.
So you're building buildings together?
Absolutely. Our most recent build out on Highway 170, which most people that come to Beaufort either to visit, work, play, or stay notice, because it's got two great big red doors right on the side of the highway and says Beaufort Port Royal above those doors. And we recently opened that fire station about 18 months ago, and it was a joint project between the municipalities in order to provide fire service in those areas in the city and town along Highway 170.
How many stations do you have in the greater Beaufort area?
We have 4 stations that we're responsible for. We have one on Rebo Road at the north end of the road. We have a newer fire station next to the bowling alley on Rebo Road. And then we also have a fire station on Paris Avenue in Port Royal, and then a new fire station on Highway 170. So
there's another thing, a wave that's coming along, fire sprinklers in our homes. I want to talk about that. So tell me, they're so important to have. Tell me more of the details of what we want to do to have them in our home.
Yeah, they are. They're the new wave of fire safety in homes. Hopefully in the future they'll be as common as smoke alarms are in your home. There's a little misconception about them from what we see on TV. They don't all go off all at the same time. They don't wet your whole house down. They're contained to the fire area. They control the fire, control those superheated gases, give occupants a chance to get out of the home safely.
And there's a service for this. There's a business out there that will come in and install these sprinklers.
The move at the state level is to get them where plumbers and more vendors can install them, because they're essentially just like your domestic water lines, but they provide fire protection as well.
Oh. Most homes, would you say most homes do not have sprinkler systems in them?
Or now they do not, right?
Okay.
It's common that the newer homes, some remote homes get them installed, like Fripp Island, some areas like that have them installed currently, but it's in the fire code to be the new wave of fire safety in the future.
Yeah, I would think so. So much of what you all do is educate the community on things like this. Another big thing is the infant car seats. I understand so many of the infant car seats are not installed properly. So tell us how you can help the average parent in that case.
Absolutely. We have multiple customer service relation initiatives at the City of Beaufort, Town of Port Royal Fire Department, and probably one of the ones that's most touching and enduring to the community is the ability to come to the fire station and get a properly installed child safety seat. Now you have to bring your safety seat, and you bring the instructions with the safety seat, and we have trained technicians that will sit there with you and go over the proper installation, how to check it, how to make sure that it stays installed properly once you put it in, and then make sure that your child is appropriately sized, and how long you should be able to expect to be able to use those child safety seats.
You know, I read somewhere that 50% of child seats are not properly installed in your car.
Yeah, that's correct. There's a majority of them out there that don't understand the safety features of the car seat and how to correctly install it, and that's what we're here to provide that service to help
That's a
them.
great service. Recommend that one for sure.
Yes.
So let's move forward. Hurricane season. We've had few
scary
of
words.
those. Oh, no. Sorry to say them so soon. It's only June, but plans. What's happening now? I'm sure there's new plans in place since our last couple of years.
Yeah, we just began hurricane season, but as you know, it's a full year of planning that goes involved in it. So we want to make sure everyone has the most up-to-date information, provide them with the safety plans, evacuation plans, everything they need to know to prepare for our upcoming hurricane season.
And how will they access this? They go on a website? Where do they get the information?
Yeah, we have the city's website can point you in that right direction, our Facebook page, or Beaufort County Emergency Management also provides a lot of details on hurricane season.
The biggest thing as fire chiefs for the city of Beaufort and town of Port Royal that we want to leave our citizens with is the most important thing that you can do is have a personal plan.
Yeah.
Know where you want to get, and part of your plans are going to be, where am I going to get my information? How am I going to make my decisions once it's time to leave or evacuate? And where am I going to go when I'm going to evacuate? If you put those three components together in a plan, you're head and shoulders above the rest that will be making them last minute. The final components that you need to be worried about are ensuring you have proper documentation of your property, of your belongings, and know that it's going to be a difficult process should we actually have a wide-scale disaster where we have property loss. We've been very, very fortunate in Beaufort County to date. Even though we've had some significant events, we have not had wide-scale property loss and devastation. We've weathered these storms very, very well. And we're hopeful and optimistic for the future that we will continue to do that. But if you put that key component into the final piece of your plan to make sure that your personal belongings, your property is properly documented and insured, then you have a greater chance of a quicker recovery should we have widespread destruction.
And take that information with you.
Absolutely.
That's
Take it
important. We
with
forget
you.
that as well.
Take it with
You know, there's so much great information here, and go to the website. But I want to say thank you for joining us, and
Thank you.
we'll be right back with more 843 TV. And we are back. And I want to introduce you to, I have Ross Vizen and I have Clint Holmes, who are part of the firefighters as well. And what they're talking about today is recruitment.
Yes.
We want to talk about the reserve program. So Clint, let's start with you. Tell me about your role first.
All right, I am the assistant volunteer coordinator. I help coordinate a lot of the reserve program, which is what we're actually doing right now through the month of July. And then I also help with the training of the reserve program.
Okay. This is a big program that's happening right now. When I drove in, I saw a big sign. We're looking, so tell me about how long are you looking for your recruitments, and tell us about the program.
Okay, so we typically do 2 reserve recruitments each year, normally in December, and this time June, July. Right now we have about 40 active reserve firefighters that are just like us. They operate with the career guys, and they're required to do 12 hours of station time a month. They get trained just like our career guys. We train them. We have a group of instructors certified by the South Carolina Fire Academy that can train these firefighters and our reserve firefighters to the Firefighter 1 level.
Now, you said train. Tell us what's involved with training. So if someone is thinking about, maybe they're interested, what kind of training is provided? What do they have to do?
Okay, so our reserve programs, they're offered the same training as our career staff. We offer in-house classes and courses through the South Carolina Fire Academy. As firefighters, we get asked to do a lot. And if there's something that we get asked for, there's a training for it. So they can do certification level stuff, such as Firefighter 1, Firefighter 2, hazardous material, things like that. Or they can do rescue. There's a lot of branches that go off into it that they can all get certified in.
Oh, interesting. So tell me, how old do you have to be to participate, or to apply?
So in order to apply, you have to be at least 18 years of age.
Okay.
have a high school diploma or a GED,
Okay.
and possess a valid driver's license.
And do you find volunteers, when they start in this process, do they come full-time professionals? Is this sort of a stepping stone, do you see, or?
That's a very good question, and that's something we're very proud of, because right now we have about, like I said, 40 active reserve firefighters, and we want our reserve firefighters to succeed, whether it's in our department or another department in the county or the state. A lot of the firefighters right here in Beaufort County started in our program, the reserve program, and that's something we're very proud of. You know, like I said, we don't expect them, and we don't want them just to stay with us. We want them to branch out and succeed just in the fire service in general, and whether it's in our department or another department. A lot of our staff in our department started out as reserve. You just interviewed Chief Berthoff.
Right.
Well, guess where he started?
Oh, wow, how about
in our
that?
reserve program.
And
So-
then tell me about your role. We kind of bypassed that by accident.
So I am the Battalion Chief of Training and Education. So I kind of oversee the whole reserve program. I have 2 reserve coordinators, Lieutenant Peter Donji and Senior Firefighter Clint Holmes, that are my go-tos, and they do the instructing part. So I act as the lead instructor, and they are instructors as well. And they do a phenomenal job, and without them, I wouldn't be able to do my job.
And so in recruiting, are we looking for a specific number? Are we looking for 20? Are we looking for 100? How does
We
this
are
work?
not looking for any number. We are just looking for motivated people that want to help their community with emergency response. And if you are interested, you can stop by any of our 4 fire stations, 135 Rebault Road, 1120 Rebault Road, 1750 Paris Avenue, or our newest fire station at 571 Robert Smalls Parkway. The deadline for this reserve drive is June 30th by 5 p.m. If you could drop off the application at our headquarters station at 135 Rebault Road.
How long of a process does this take?
So to become a reserve firefighter, first you enter your application. There'll be a vetting process. Then after that, there'll be an orientation. Then after that, you will be required to take a class on hazardous materials. Then after that, it will be a CPR and first aid. Then after that, you can get to the firefighter training of Firefighter 1. All in all, it usually takes about 6 months to get you fully certified.
No, so it's not a very long.
And it sounds, is there physical training as well? I mean, aren't you have to have like a backpack or carry something like 80 pounds or 100 pounds on you
Run them into a
up and down the
fire or
stairs or something?
You are absolutely right. And so we expect a lot of out of our reserve firefighters, just as our career guys. So in order to enter the program, you first have to do and pass a physical agility test, which is the same test we passed for our job. You have 7 minutes to complete it, and it's a physical process, but it's very doable. We talk to the reserves at first and tell them to start training for it, and then from there you'll go into the process that Clint just mentioned. So
We were talking with the gentleman in the other segment. We didn't get to ask them. The summer started out hot right there in May. I mean,
Yeah.
really hot. Is there any tips or any advice that you could give the community and public to deal with some of these things as far as your fire safety is concerned?
drink water for sure.
Okay, there you go.
Lots
the
and
easy
lots
one.
of water.
And you know that becomes an issue with our training as well. We go along with the heat as the Fire Academy and Paris Island. So when they're on a Black Flag Day, we're on a Black Flag Day. So it definitely puts a damper in our training, because on the real hot days, we can only train for 10 minutes and rest for 15 minutes.
Wait, black flag. I'm a newbie here. So when I see that up on the flagpole and it's around, do you put it on the fire?
No. It's something that Paris Island does for their recruits, and the Fire Academy does. It's kind
okay.
of just a saying. But one thing that we do, and that we failed to mention, that we make the reserve program easier for individuals with a full-time job. We know that people still have to support their family, so we do training. The training normally consists Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock from 6 to about 9, and then Saturdays is normally a long day from 8 to 5. So we make it convenient for those that are still working full-time and want to serve their community by being a reserve firefighter.
Sure. Well, we hope that this encourages and inspires some of you all to consider being a reserve firefighter and being part of this great community. You can contact these gentlemen, and y'all stay right here. We'll be back with more 843 TV. with 843 TV from the City Hall in Beaufort, and now we are talking with Ms. Rhonda Carey. You are the Events and Tour Operations Committee Manager, Coordinator for the City of Beaufort, which is a new role for you and a new department for the city. So talk about what you all do. What are your functions?
Yes, we are a relatively new department. We've been around just about 2 years now. And we're charged with quite a few things that we believe help to keep the community engaged and give people in the community and organizations an opportunity to liaise well with the city. So we are located in downtown. Linda and I actually are housed in the downtown area so that we can be more in more proximity to those that we serve. We work with the business community in the downtown area and even outside of some of those boundaries as well. We manage the Waterfront Park, which in our mind is one of our best assets here in Beaufort.
Yeah. It's a kind of a crown jewel, if
That's
you ask
right.
me.
We help host and support a number of different community events and then support those other events that are occurring in Waterfront Park. And we also support some of the general residential services by administering the Waste Pro contract and one of the landscaping contracts as well. So we're pretty busy in our department.
You do a lot, and there's two of you, to my understanding.
There's two of us. Right?
Department of two.
Yes.
Department of two. So summer's here, it's June, and let's talk about what's going to happen at down at the water park, waterfront. What's the events?
Yeah, well, we have a couple of things going on. We have some event activity going on, and then we have some kind of some infrastructure work and some projects going on there. So in terms of events for the summer, starting later this month on June 22nd, the annual Dragon Boat Race Day will occur. That's a really fun community-oriented event, and that particular organization that hosts that event is one that then gives back to the community, and they earmark funds from that event to support those who are going through cancer treatments.
Oh, great.
So it's a real important community event. And then in July, the big one, the Water Festival, is a almost a 2-week event. It's about 10 days. Starting July 12th, and day after day there's a series of activities and music and
Such as
food.
there any particular bands or
Yeah, there are a
mix
number of
foods?
concerts. There's an air show, there's a water show, there's the Blessing of the Fleet. And I know that on their website right now they've got quite a listing and a detailed listing of all the things that will be happening at that festival. And then in terms of some of the work being done at Waterfront Park, we're really proud of some of the projects that will be going on throughout the summer, including some sort of hardscape improvements there at the park, some additional landscaping improvements. And
So
then
when you say hardscaping, what are we doing? Are we putting in benches?
we'll be putting in some additional furniture. We will be doing some work. There's some structural work actually being done at the park too. Last summer was phase 1 of some work to reinforce some pylons and some of the structural work at the park. Maintenance. And so phase 2 of that will begin later this summer. And then just some beautification projects. Like I said earlier, that's a wonderful asset that we have, and it's important to us that we continue to enhance it.
And
so
over
we'll be
these
doing that.
years, Beaufort has done a phenomenal job with improving that park.
Yes.
I've been able to see over the course of a decade or more how it's changed and grown, and now you've got the waterfront dock there, the day dock.
the day dock, yeah.
So many great things, and of course, we always forget about Beaufort is a tourist attraction
That's
as
right.
well.
That's
Not
right.
just Hilton Head Bluffton, and people that come for Hilton Head and Bluffton also come over here
Well,
to
it's
Beaufort.
a beautiful historic community as well.
That's right.
And so let me ask you, I know we did a broad stroke of everything, but I would like to ask you a little bit more details, upcoming events for June, things where people can look forward to coming to see Beaufort, because who's here, what's happening?
Well, in addition to the Dragon Boat Race Day that's coming toward the end of June, in and around the city there's a number of events that people can enjoy as well. There was a music series that began in May, which is a little taste of piccolo spoleto here in Beaufort. So sort of a cousin or a sister to the Charleston. And so a series of music has been curated, and those concerts will take place not necessarily in downtown, but at some other venues. And we have some information on the city's Facebook page about those. And then we're happy to be hosting a new tour company that's coming into town to bring tourists here every Wednesday. So we're seeing an influx of more people coming to enjoy Beaufort, and we're working hand in hand with the Convention and Visitors Bureau to support their efforts in increasing tourism and interest here in Beaufort. And so that will be an ongoing mission and focus of our department, you know, to liaise and assist with that. And I really want to mention too that we've welcomed quite a few new businesses in the downtown area, and we're seeing a nice eclectic mix of businesses coming in, which is important, of course, to our economy and the vitality and the interest of our tourists that come. So we've got a new shop for pet owners where they can come and bling out their pets. There's a new there's a new smoothie and sandwich shop in town. There's a new children's clothing shop down on Bay Street. So we're seeing quite a lot of movement, good movement in the right direction in terms of vitality in
Well, that's
downtown.
very positive. You know, you don't want storefronts that are empty.
That's right.
So,
That's right. And that's part of the mission of our department, is to work
Oh, really?
with making sure that we do all that we can in terms of infill and keeping us very vibrant downtown.
Yeah, you have a great, I love what you're doing. It's very exciting. And
Yes.
you talk about the pulse of Beaufort.
Right.
Between you and Linda, you guys, you really know everything.
Yeah, well, we're enjoying it, and you know, really enjoying working with the community, and just, you know, putting that positive spin that is Beaufort.
And Rhonda, I want to thank you for joining us. There are so many wonderful things here happening at Beaufort.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you all for watching this episode of 843 TV.
Where communities come to speak.